It's Smack the Guru. This is my review for the Murder Inc. story on BET. Episode 4, So Much Pain. And this is when it all start falling apart, man. They told you about to come up the first 3 episodes, but this one start with Supreme talking, the feds coming, and they living the life and it didn't caught up to them. Now, I'm not saying that Irv and Ja was still, in the streets while they was making music, but with you being associated with a dude and they want him, yeah, they had to get y'all too just so y'all can't give him money. That makes sense to me why they did that. Not is it right or wrong, but why they did it makes sense. And ain't no telling what all Supreme did. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect hustlers, but a lot of the street dudes just ain't hustlers. They be out here doing some wild stuff and robbing people. Not saying Supreme did this, I'm just saying I don't know. So sometimes, hey man, some people deserve to be in jail, dog. Like, people's out here causing chaos. What can you say? It's just like what's going on in Atlanta right now. Like, hey, if you doing all these things, what you expect? But I don't know with Supreme, so I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in general. Now, simultaneously, while the feds is coming in, 50 comes. And you see Irv, he like Dr. Dre came with that beat in the club. Fire. The whole first album, 50 Cent, is a classic, right? Now, I always thought both 50 and Ja was dope. I thought Ja was dope too. He made big songs. He had the melodies. He had the hooks. Ja Rule hooks be fire. And then, when I thought he was all done, he came with Clapback on the Blood in My Eye, but he didn't have nothing else on that album. Like, that album didn't have nothing that I remember. I might go back and listen to it and might find another song if I'm lucky. But I don't think he had much on that Blood in My Eye album. And then he had The Rule. Now, RULE would have probably sold more if it wasn't for the 50 beef. Because a lot of people did take sides. Let's just give it up. But he had 2 smashes on her. Smash hits. And to be honest, he probably rushed Blood in My Eye. And RULE was something that he took a little bit more time on. But I think if he would have just took his time, and the best songs from Blood in My Eye would have been on RULE with the best songs that he already had on there, he would have had a dope album. And I think RULE had the big hits, but he would have had Clapback on that too. So he would have had 3 big hits instead of Wonderful, which is a smash. Gotta give it up. Ashanti or R. Kelly, he in jail. So, but New York, that record was hard. I remember when it first came out, and everybody was like, "Ooh, Ja back." Like, he back on top. And Fat Joe talk about how he gave Ja that record because Ja gave him What's Love. And it's very interesting to me to hear that because it lets you know how the industry work. See, people be acting like, dog, people is just writing all of their lyrics all the time. No. These dudes be clicked up and they give each other's records at certain times. Who need the big record? That's who they give it to. I mean, we seen it. When Fat Joe Pun had passed, Ja gave him a big record. Ja going through it with 50, Fat Joe come give him a big record, to keep their career up to the best of their abilities. Now, also during this period, '03 Ashanti dropped, but they also brought on Lloyd. And I gotta say, man, that Southside song was fire back in the day. That was amazing. Lloyd first album, I don't think had it all, but that one song though, yeah, that was one of them ones. And Ashanti second album was big too. The one in 2003. I believe her first 2 albums, both of them was dope and like known as dope albums. So musically, I think they would have been able to keep it going if it wasn't for the feds, man. Real talk. 50 played a part, but I think the feds is what really did it. And a lot went into that. I don't know why they named themselves Murder Inc. After just seeing what happened to Bad Boy and Death Row, why would they come back behind it and say Murder Inc.? And they end up having to change it to the Inc. But to be real, the Inc. is what it should have always been. I would have never named my label Murder Inc. That just sound like you don't want to get as big as you could possibly be by naming your label that. Like, no way. And Steve Stout was on her. He said it best because they was making some critical mistakes to me. Definitely the label name, but then definitely Irv trying to be more street while he's becoming more successful. That's what Steve Stout said. He like, yo, this don't make sense. And it don't. Why do, people act like more street knowing you ain't the same person you was and you just got some money? Somebody might run up on you now and you not going to risk it all now because you got a lot to risk. But portray the lifestyle of, you still about it or whatever. I don't know why people do that, So that's one of the things I noticed. But the last thing I wanted to talk about before I got up out of here was the Minister Farrakhan meeting. Like, come on, 50. Come on, dog. You know you were supposed to make that meeting. Minister Farrakhan called it, go, man. You got to show respect to the most honorable Minister Farrakhan because let's be real. The Fruit of Islam, or Nation of Islam, whatever you know them by, they the only black organization that done lasted over 50 years and is still got their essential values and views. See, a lot of organizations done switched it up by now and they supposed to be, spiritual and all this stuff, but they be pandering to the mainstream. Not there for why. So you gotta show respect to them because what they have done as an organization has been so respectable. So I think 50 should have showed up to that because Minister Farrakhan called it. And Ja Rule showed up, of course. And he said it made him look bad. To me, it didn't. It's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do when Ja showed up. So that was probably the last thing that really stood out to me in this episode. You got to support the minister, man. And it's crazy how they fell. But they showing it to you. Like, yo, it was a lot stacked against them, so they fell. And 50 was hard. 50 was hard when he first came out, man. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this 4th episode, So Much Pain, and the fall of Murder Inc. It's Mac the Guru. If you're still here, make sure you sub to the channel. And like always, y'all be easy. Be safe. Peace.